How to make gasoline when the world is a rusting heap, your ride's thirsty, and those screaming things are getting closer. The cities are husks, choked with dust and the ghosts of traffic jams. You've managed to wrestle a beat-up jalopy from the skeletal remains of a highway, a glorious middle finger to the apocalypse, but its tank is as dry as your mouth after a week of chewing on irradiated jerky. Every gutted gas station is a monument to what you've lost, patrolled by sun-bleached skulls or worse, those twitchy shadows that hiss when the wind changes. You need to move. You need to run. No sweat. We're not waiting for some mythical convoy or a long-lost tanker truck. We're about to conjure the black gold from the wasteland's greasy guts. Method 1, the rotten remains route. All right, genius. First things first. Think greasy. Think the kind of sludge that coats the inside of a forgotten deep fryer, the slick sheen on a puddle where a truck coughed its last breath, the unholy goo clinging to the wreckage of, well, you get the picture. We're not aiming for pristine here. We're aiming for gets you the hell out of Dodge. Scour those abandoned diners, the ones where the last customers probably left in a screaming hurry. Check the kitchens, behind the overturned stoves, in the rusty vats. You might find vats of ancient cooking oil, congealed and rancid. Perfect. Look around the back of auto repair shops, those leaky barrels, the grimy sumps. That's our kind of cocktail. Now, extraction. You got a bucket? Good. A rusty can? Better than nothing. A scavenged baby stroller with a hole in the bottom? Desperate times, pal. Scoop up that viscous nightmare. Don't be delicate. The world ended. Etiquette went with it. Get as much of that foul-smelling muck as you can. Once you've got your base ingredient, you're going to need to thin it out. Think less motor oil and more slightly less viscous motor oil. If you find any kerosene or lamp oil kicking around, jackpot. Mix it in, roughly equal parts. If not, well, we get creative. Got any old paint thinner? Brake cleaner? Careful with that stuff. It'll make you wish the world hadn't ended if you huff it too hard. A little bit at a time. Stir it in with a stick you found that probably used to be someone's femur. You're looking for a consistency that's pourable, like really, really bad soup. Now, the moment of truth. Find a safe spot, away from anything flammable that you actually care about keeping, like yourself. Take a small amount of your greasy concoction and try to light it. Use a rag on a stick, a long lighter, whatever keeps your precious fingers intact. If it catches, sputtering and smelling vaguely of despair and old French fries, we're in business. It's not high grade, it'll probably make your engine sound like a dying animal, but it burns. And in this world, fire is survival. Strain this mess through something. An old t-shirt, a ripped piece of canvas, even a sock you found that doesn't have too many holes. This will get rid of the bigger chunks of whatever that was. Pour your slightly less horrifying liquid into your gas tank. Not too much at first. Give your metal beast a little taste of the apocalypse. Crank the engine, pray to whatever gods might still be listening. Spoiler alert, probably none. If it coughs to life, belching black smoke and the ghosts of forgotten fast food, congratulations. You just fueled your escape with the dregs of a dead world. Method 2, the wood gas gamble, advanced and slightly explodey. Feeling ambitious? Got a death wish? Good, because this next method involves playing with fire in a more intimate way. We're going old school. Think pre-oil days, when contraptions coughed their way around on the fumes of burning wood. You'll need a metal container, an old barrel, a large metal trash can, without a plastic liner, you absolute troglodyte, something that can withstand some serious heat. You'll also need some piping, scavenged exhaust pipes, lengths of metal tubing. You're building a rudimentary gasifier. Think of it as a controlled fire that produces flammable gas instead of just fire, mostly. Drill a hole near the bottom of your container for air intake. Attach a pipe near the top. This will be your gas outlet. You'll need some way to control the airflow into the bottom. A simple flap or sliding piece of metal will do. Now for the fuel, wood, dry wood. Small pieces are best. Stuff your metal container full of it, not too tightly. It needs air to breathe. And by breathe, I mean burn in a way that doesn't immediately blow you to kingdom come. Here comes the fun part. Start a fire at the bottom of your wood-filled container through the air intake. Once the wood is burning steadily and hopefully not about to escape its metal prison, restrict the airflow slightly. You don't want a roaring bonfire, you want smoldering combustion. This, in theory, will produce carbon monoxide and other flammable gases. This hot, potentially deadly gas travels up your pipe. You'll need to cool and filter it somehow before it goes into your engine. A series of metal cans or pipes acting as radiators can help cool it down. Pack them with some sort of filtering material, rags, steel wool, if you can find any that hasn't rusted into oblivion, even tightly packed sand. This will help remove some of the particulate matter and tar that can gunk up your engine faster than a horde of, well, you get the idea. Connect the end of your filtered gas line to the air intake of your engine. You might need to experiment with the airflow and the amount of gas being fed in. This isn't an exact science, especially when your laboratory is the ruins of civilization. Crank the engine. It might sputter, cough, and generally sound like it's about to have a very bad day. If you're lucky and haven't accidentally created a pipe bomb, you might just hear it catch. Wood gas won't give you the same power as gasoline. Your trusty vehicle will likely move like a wounded snail, but it will move. And in this blasted landscape, movement is life. Look, let's be real. Neither of these methods is going to produce the high-octane fuel you use to pump at the corner station while complaining about the price. What you're making is a desperate substitute, a survival hack, a middle finger to the forces that left you stranded. Engine damage. Running your engine on this DIY brew is risky. Expect reduced performance, strange noises, and a significantly shortened lifespan for your vehicle. But hey, at least you're moving, right? Toxicity. The fumes produced by burning mystery oil and partially combusted wood are likely toxic. Avoid breathing them in unless you're actively trying to join the choir invisible. Work in a well-ventilated area, as well-ventilated as a bombed-out cityscape can be. Fire hazard. You're playing with flammable liquids and gases in a world littered with flammable debris. Be careful. Have some kind of fire extinguisher handy, a bucket of sand, a shovel, your own rapidly emptying bladder in a truly dire emergency. Inconsistency. The quality of your DIY fuel will vary wildly depending on the ingredients you find and your lack of scientific precision. One batch might get you 10 miles, the next might just make your engine hiccup and die. Explosions. Let's not sugarcoat it. Messing with flammable materials in a haphazard way increases your chances of a sudden, unplanned rapid disassembly. Be cautious. Think briefly before you act. So there you have it, 2 delightfully dangerous ways to try and coax some movement out of a dead world's leftovers. Will it be easy? Hell no. Will it be safe? Not even close. But when those hungry eyes are glinting in the twilight and the growls are getting closer, a sputtering engine powered by the ghosts of grease and burnt wood might just be the difference between becoming someone else's dinner and living to scavenge another miserable day. Now get out there and get greasy or smoky. Just try not to blow yourself up. Unless you've got a really good respawn point, in which case, go nuts. We're all going to end up as fertilizer anyway. Might as well go out with a bang, literally.